Look at this idiot. He was too busy scrolling and crashed his boat. Then he was approached by some weirdo with a stick who told him to defend the village from illegals. He also called me useless, so I showed him. He was so disappointed that he took me to a training camp so it doesn't hurt his eyes just looking at me. He also called me poor and gave me money. Then I was forced to do unpaid labor and cut his apples because he's a pussy and can't eat them uncut. When I was done, he called me a good boy, and told me I'm as endurant as a starving Victorian-era child and threw apples at me so I know what the children there went through. Like the stupid monkey I am, I deflected the only thing I'm not supposed to deflect, but I learned and went right back to role-playing intelligent women in the medieval ages. I then leveled up, so he called me a weak little twink and yelled at me to put some muscle on. Then I went to buy some weapons, because the stick that I stole from my mom's drawer is apparently not good enough. And not only doesn't he like my stick, he also proceeds to complain over my choice of a magic wand. He's clearly got some stick compensation going in his head. That made me angry, so I went back to the mosquito that killed me and violently murdered him, which went as easy as it gets, since all those apples gave me the strength of a god. I also killed another mosquito, but since I didn't have my magic ball cooldown ready yet, it was a very slow slugfest that I emerged victorious from in the end. After this battle, I went to celebrate my great victory to the tavern, where I met a twitchy weirdo who told me something about a witch, a fast food chain, and some magical treasures, but since I was already close to blacking out, I have no idea what he was trying to say to me. The next day, I woke up hungover in the training grounds, where the stick-compensating weirdo was waiting for me so he can throw apples at me again. It turns out, my brain is on full throttle when hungover, and I could reflect like 8 apples in a second, but my hands got tired after 400 of them and an apple hit me straight in the head like I'm Isaac Newton. Wow, a compliment. Excuse me. Why did he just call me a faggot? What did I even do to him? I was baffled, but I upgraded my magic ball to calm myself down. I also had to train my defenses, because stuff like this hurts me, and I don't want it to. But like the oversensitive bitch I am, a measly 100 apples led to my downfall. So instead of overcoming my sensitivity, I became aggressive and assaulted a bunch of bandits outside the town. They didn't even get to attack me back through my raging attacks until they ganged up on me. But even when there was 2 of them, my magical wand destroyed them without trouble. I also robbed them of their clothes, that helped improving my sex appeal. On my pest-killing mission, the toxic stickman then informed me of something that I already discovered because my reactions are too slow and I can't click immediately. Then I got a hat that made me look like a moron, so I poured an invisibility potion on it to make myself hot again. And then I got jumped by filthy goblins that beat me unconscious like they are some animals. Why do we even allow these things to walk the same earth as us? It's disgusting. Look at that brute creature. Sorry, I got a little carried away. Anyways, I bought a bow through the stolen possessions of bandits and trained so I can shoot the filthy goblins without having to touch them. Ignore that that was on purpose. After that I took my revenge on these beasts. But when I went on a walk to cool my nerves, I got attacked by wild dogs, and I was violently mauled. Luckily, I barely managed to live through it. After long and painful rehabilitation, I went back to training so I can track and murder them for what they did to me. I also found a twink ghost. While looking for the animals that did those horrible things to me, I got attacked by another group of disgusting goblins. But I dispatched of them easily, even though I was disgusted the whole time. Finally, revenge time. After losing to the Rizzler, I shamefully went back to training. I shot so many arrows that a tunnel started forming in my carp, so I had to stop before my true potential. Finally, some peace. After some relaxed time, I went to the mines, where I met a creepy old man with one tooth that couldn't even speak properly, but he taught me how to invest, which came handy with my empty pocket. Then I beat the Rizzler into submission and beat up a bunch of other guys. But when I got back, the little stickman was doing anything but giving me a compliment. Ugh, yet another filthy goblin. Every attack makes me feel sick. Why do I have to touch that green thing? Luckily, I avoided this one. And it's finally over. Then the Baldy thanked me for killing a fat mole. Called me a faggot and sold me some weapons. Why does everyone keep calling me that? But at least I got a new wand to show off my magic skills. And show off I did, when the Rizzler joined me to battle an army of filthy goblins, that didn't want me to have their shiny stone that was being wasted on such vile creatures. As the battle raged on, my master skills in magic were showing, because the goblins were falling like apples, and I was still unharmed. Then the Goblin King tried speaking to me in his barbaric what they call language. And called the clearly blue stone a ruby, which enraged me even more, so I did everything in my power to bring his reign to an end. The Rizzler took the first shot, and I followed with a shield to the head to stun him. Then the king's royal guard threw some weird goblin deodorant at me, that I blocked because smelling like one of them for even a second would scar me for life. When I was done with them, I could finally focus on taking down the so-called king. I shot an arrow with some real deodorant on him, which actually poisoned him. That's how disgusting he is. That made me mad, so I smashed my wand against the top of his skull to crush it, but it didn't work. Another attempt, unsuccessful. But a ninja star to the face finally brought him down. And him of all people called me filthy. What the hell, bro? Are you serious? He moved on as if nothing happened and told me to rescue his pet, because apparently it has the next magical artifact. But what I need now is rest.